Namaskaram. Namaskaram to all of you, wherever you are. Well, right now, as you can see, the landscape here is painted in many colors. As spectacular as nature continues to be, human beings having problems. No, I'm not talking about your election. The virus situation continues, and in regions of the world where we thought, or people thought that it's past, it's come back again with full force. In UK, in France, Belgium, Germany, Switzerland, and many other countries. Month-long lockdowns, full lockdowns have been declared because people have been resisting these lockdowns. Quietly, armed soldiers have come in to enforce this lockdown. When you bring army into your own towns and cities, it means the situation is serious. So, in United States, things are not any better. In the last 24 hours, there are nearly 1,300 deaths. Well, I see all of you are masked, and it's wonderful, even the little children you brought them masked, wonderful. But there is a part of America which believes that this is all a hoax. Over 1 million people dead and it's still a hoax. Well, this has been the bane of humanity always, that people can fancy believing whatever they want, no matter what the reality is. Well, definitely there's another segment of population which overreacts to everything, and another segment which completely neglects everything. To get people into a balanced response, we need to build populations who are a bit conscious and able to respond consciously to challenges that are thrown to us. Some reacting wildly in panic, some too much bravado, they don't care. Well, if there is any misunderstanding, hope this helps to clear this. Nations went into lockdowns not because we believed that you can stop the virus. We went into lockdowns to ensure that medical facilities are not overwhelmed. Suddenly in a city, 1 million people get sick, then they will die because of lack of medical attention. We wanted them to get sick slowly, in installments, so that everybody can be attended to and we can bring down the fatality rate, which to some extent we have succeeded. in many countries. But aberrations are there. When something is a global situation, unfortunately aberrations will be there. And these aberrations are largely either because panic reaction or too much bravado. Compulsive behavior is being hidden under some kind of confidence and courage. When it's at its peak, somebody very proudly comes out on the street and says, "I need a haircut." Well, I knew that you cannot handle your head, but even your hair, you can't handle your hair, and your head is a complex, it's pretty complex. You're having trouble handling it, understandable, but you cannot handle your hair for a few months. That's a tragedy. People are talking about freedom, that I have freedom. Yes, you have. Who said you and me are not free to die? We're free to die. But the problem is, there are others who want to live. If everybody wanted to die, no problem. But there's a whole lot of people who want to live. So, responsible behavior becomes the element of success in a situation like this. Wherever I go, people are asking me, "Sadhguru, how to deal with such a terrible situation, hard situation?" Well, you have forgotten how life has been for every generation till now. If you do not know, or if you cannot look back too far away, just look back at the last 2 or 3 generations, 20th century. What people have gone through. Early 20th century, there were famines in large parts of the world. World War I, Spanish flu, World War… depression, World War II. Well, you had Korean War, Vietnam War, lots of things. You're not facing anything like that. This is a soft ball. This pandemic is a soft ball, but we have become so frail in our minds that we cannot handle it. I want you to understand. I want you to just look back and see what is the experience of people where their whole cities were flattened in World War II and they built back within 15, 20 years' time. Hello? A significant part of the population died. There was nobody who did not lose somebody who's their family or friend. Everybody lost someone and they lost everything they had and they built back and put the world back on rails. You don't have anything like that. And there is so much technology. For the first time you can work from home, you can keep your friendships from home, you can even have a love affair. Hello? Yes, new ones, because you have a lot of time at home and no risk of even meeting them and getting into any trouble. But we are complaining and complaining like never before because both in body and mind, a large segment of the population has become very frail. Not because of old age, they've just become very frail because of too much comfort, too much convenience. And without using their body or brains, they can still live reasonably well so much facility. It's time to understand that no matter what we create, our apple cart could be turned around. Simple situations can do that. When everything is well, you're well means nothing. It's not because of you, it's because of the situation. Even when things are dead wrong, you're still well. This means you are of some value as a human being. This is the time to display that. Fortunately, in countries like India, where the population is of a certain density, the recovery rate has become phenomenally good. Fatality rates have dropped significantly, and recovery rates are going up by the day. That means people are… their systems are getting little stronger, medical systems are beginning to function at many-fold higher levels than what they normally function. So this is what needs to happen everywhere. That one thing is, individual human beings should get stronger for sure, because if you want to live strong, you need both physiological and psychological frameworks which are of a certain stability and strength, otherwise you cannot. Whatever you wish to do, even if you just wish to sit and meditate, it's very important that you have a strong system, otherwise it won't let you do it. Europe, they thought they are beyond these things because they are Europeans, but it's getting them. Every population in the world needs to understand. At least virus is not racist. Whoever is negligent, it gets them. Yes, some good things I'm saying. It doesn't discriminate what is the color of your skin. Anyway, it gets you if you're not, conscious about it. The new epicenter of pandemic has become Europe once again. That's where it flared up, it went down and people thought that's it, and I think the beer drinking season in certain countries in Europe has put pandemic back into full action once again. But we are not satisfied with the number of people dying because of the virus infection. We want to add, we want to do our own contributions, human beings, I'm saying. So, we're trying to kill, we're trying to shoot, we're trying to knife people, we're even beheading people, all right? We thought the age of beheading is over, but people are beheading. Why you want to separate head and body of any person, I cannot understand. But not only beheadings have happened, openly people are tweeting and talking how we should behead someone who doesn't agree with us. This used to be the way of medieval kings and tyrants, that they had a problem with working heads. If any head works clearly, they would behead him because they understood head is trouble. Working heads are trouble because they will figure out things. They will say things which are true but not convenient for you. This used to be the practice. But once again, beheading is part of 21st century's conversation. Who should be beheaded, Who should not be beheaded? Can you believe this? Where are we going, huh? So, let me read a small poem for you. Don't be tortured, okay? I'm not beheading you, I'm only talking about it. The poem is titled as Beheading. What else? When suddenly the conversation in the world shifts back 3-4 centuries, just like that. Oh, 3-4 centuries of civilizational work gone waste, so obviously you have to say something about it. Beheading. Fighting for gods in scriptures of another place and time. Fighting for gods in scriptures of another place and time. Their relevance you may question if only you do not value your own life. Their relevance you may question if only you do not value your own life. Heads have been rolling for a long time for sensitivities that are not for life. Heads have been rolling for a long time for sensitivities that are not for life. In not making anything of value of oneself, in not making anything of value of oneself, has such an advantage of being welcomed in another place that is hallowed and divine, that is worth killing for. In not making anything of value of oneself has such an advantage of being welcomed in another place that is hallowed and divine, that is worth killing for. Those who had nothing of much value in their heads always believed separating head from body is a solution. Those who had nothing of much value in their heads always believed separating head from body is a solution. Well, in a way, it eliminates the problem, you know. Whatever you think is problem, but human heads are supposed to arrive at solutions, not problems. Because everybody is taking their own position, a position which is diverse from life, a position that may be ideological, a position that may be belief or faith-oriented, a position that may be about heaven, a position that may be about nation, that position that may be about power, everything except life. Everything else has become valuable except life. Well, a haircut is better. I didn't like a haircut. When I was… I was told that normally in India, when a child is born, within 11 months before the child completes 1 year, usually, or sometimes some people choose different timings, but within 2.5 years of age, tonsuring of the head will happen. That means the hair is removed because that hair is supposed to carry the taint of mother's blood, so it must go. A child should not grow up with that hair. There are other reasons which are, you can say, a little bit scientific, let's not go into that anyway. For some reason that was not done for me. So, I grew up, by the time I was 4, lots of hair. They were still hoping to take me to some specific temple where this will be done, that never happened. So I grew a lot of hair. So they cannot take me to a barber to have a regular haircut because first I must be tonsured, and that didn't happen for various reasons. Then they put me in a school which was run by some missionaries, Christian missionaries, and they said, probably, I don't know what they said, but they thought I looked too uncivilized with such big hair. So they want to cut my hair. So I didn't go to school for months, that I don't want my hair cut. But in the afternoons, they give you some biscuit and milk. I don't know what milk it was. Anyway, after that, usually children fall asleep. One day when I slept, they cut off my hair. So I never liked haircut, you know. So, but I will concede, haircut is better than beheading. Hello? Even that is not needed if you ask me, but it's okay. You want to cut hair, it's okay. Head is there to come to terms with. Human head has taken millions of years of evolution to get to this point. Nobody should ever see somebody's head is a problem, because you can turn the head around. If you turn the head around, it's a solution. Yes, all human problems are also manufactured here, all solutions are also manufactured here. Making humanity in such a way that human heads generate solutions, not problems, needs to happen. That work we don't do, because that needs lots of work. We need to do something about seeing that every human head is a source of some kind of solution to something or the other. That is what head is supposed to be. But now it generates problems, or somebody's head doesn't agree with you, somebody's head refuses to believe what you believe, somebody's head refuses to adhere to whatever you think is sacred, so remove the head. Well, there have been many hopes of how 21st century will evolve. 2020 is definitely not showing those signs or hiding it, because one thing is, people are… not too many heads have been removed, but people are talking about it. One beheading happens, others are talking about it as if that is a solution. That is a terrible prospect, that you can even think that removing somebody's head can be some sort of a solution to the conditions in which we live right now. Well, some are removing their own heads. They're telling me the rate of suicide has picked up all over the world. Why? Because not all of them are doing this because of economic distress, as it is… some people would like to paint it. It is not true, because that is not happening in that class of society who is on the verge of starvation. It's not happening there. It's happening in reasonably well-to-do because they couldn't have a haircut, or they couldn't go out and do what they wanted to do. They couldn't have their birthday party with their friends. For things like that, people are removing their own heads. Maybe not beheading, but in some way ending life. This is the most important thing that needs to happen, that from this idea of enjoying life to being joyful, this needs to happen in the world. Those who have these philosophies of we will enjoy life, if the conditions around them change and those things that they think they enjoy do not happen, they will come to a place within themselves where it's not worth living. But if you're joyful by your own nature, well, everything you will enjoy. If you're locked up at home, you will enjoy. If you go to the office, you enjoy. If you get a job, you enjoy. If you get fired, you enjoy it. Hello? Yes. Because you're joyful. Instead of being joyful, people have philosophies of enjoyment. This is a question that keeps coming to me all the time. Sadhguru, you just now went on this motorcycling, what to call it, exploration, expedition, tour, whatever you want to call it, or a ride. Did you enjoy it? I don't enjoy anything. I'm just joyful, so everything is pleasant. Even pain is pleasant. Motorcycle riding for 12, 14 hours a day is painful, all right? Yes, it is. Those of you who only heard the sound, wham, you must know there's a lot of pain. Yes. In all the wrong places. You usually use those words for other people. Somebody is a pain in the whatever. So, lot of pain and especially because now, because of this pandemic, the entire team chose not to eat anywhere, no restaurants, no nothing, we just managing with what is there. Well, our teams produce reasonably good food, at least one meal a day. But rest of the time, we are having bites of this and that and managing. But if you're joyful, everything is fine. But if you're in a enjoyment mode, if what you have a formula for enjoyment, if that formula doesn't work, you're miserable. Right now, this pandemic, you're all alive, I can see, though you're looking, no expression on your face. That's because you're masked, okay, it's okay. You're alive. That's a good enough reason to be joyful, I think. Hello? Hello? Is that good enough reason to be joyful? But Sadhguru, do you know my problems? Yes, there is a state without problems. You want to get there? Because if you don't read the science of life properly, you will get there. Everybody gets there. But it's not a race that you have to get there sooner than others. Hello? Those of you who believe you are on a race with life, now pandemic has slowed you down. It's not taken your life, it's just slowed you down and you're suffering it. Why? Because you are on a race. If you believe life is a race, you must get to the finish line sooner than everybody else, isn't it? Hello? Is that what you want to do, I'm asking? Is that what you wish to do? You want to get there sooner than others? So, you must read the science of life within yourself and around yourself. It just takes not a philosophy, not an ideology, not some supernatural power, just a little bit of attention to the life, not to other things that you've made up in your head. This happened one day. This is in Italy. Are there any Italians here? You are, okay. Only one, we can joke about him. An Italian man, Italians are very proud of the automobiles they manufacture. Well, recently, you see an Indian company was about to take over the Ducati, and the entire maybe if not the population, the entire government fought back and did everything they should not do in a free market situation, and they retained their Ducati. It's fine, I also like the Ducati, that's not a problem. When I was invited to drive in a Ferrari cavalcade, I found something absolutely unique which would never happen anywhere else in the world, is when you drive a Ferrari, this was a group of Ferraris, like we are about 108 Ferraris. They gave me a factory car, others had much more fancier things. And if 2-3 Ferraris drive on the street, the entire public will stand there on the street side and clap their hands. They're so proud of their cars. I thought, this is nice in any street if you go, the moment they see Ferraris come, they rumble and come. People stand on both sides of the street and clap their hands. I thought, this is great, they're so proud of their engineering and their product. So, an Italian man driving his Ferrari, it's very hard to drive that car slow. So at a certain speed he came. There were two Franciscan monks, they also Italian. And they had a board, end is near. This Ferrari guy came, looked at them, stuck his head out of the Ferrari and screamed at them, "You religious nuts, go and hang yourself." And then he went through the corner, then they heard screeching of tires and a big crash. Then one of the monks said to the other, "Maybe we must change the sign to 'Bridge is out.'" It's very important you read the signs properly. There are signs within you and around you, little attention. Doesn't take any supernatural power, just little attention. If you're not too full of yourself, you can see these things very clearly. If you're too full of yourself, you won't see it. So, as if what the virus is doing is not enough, human beings are trying to assist the virus by killings and suicides. Let's stop this. Let us at least demonstrate that at least nature believes, even if you don't believe, at least nature believes you are the most evolved product of nature's millions of years of work on this planet. Hello? Nature believes that, right? Hello? No? As far as Mother Earth is concerned, she believes you are her finest product. If people see you, they must clap their hands like they clap hands for Ferraris. Hello? Even if you're not that fast, it's okay. But you are the finest product of this planet's billion years of work. Yes or no? Should you not display that? That you're the finest product? A certain quality must be there, it's very important. The other creatures are doing okay actually compared to us. Though their possibilities are limited, within those limitations they're doing fine. But we are not only messing up our lives, we're seriously messing up their lives. To what extent is unbelievable. When you look at the figures and statistics around, it's really unbelievable. Just for example, when the Europeans first arrived in North America, it is said just one species of birds I'm talking about, the passenger pigeons, they were supposed to be approximately 5 billion in number. But They say when people came, when the Spanish landed here, when they saw the migration from north to south that these birds would take, they say it would be a mile wide and it would pass the entire day like a cloud, full day. That's how large the flocks used to be. But as the forests were cut down, their nesting places went away, and then people started shooting them down and trapping them in millions. One single man, are there Michigan people? Oh, you're here. One single man from Michigan put 5 million birds in the market in about a year or so. One guy. You know that guy, you're masked, so I'm scared. These days, we don't know who is the bank robber, you know. Customers are also looking like bank robbers. Employees also looking like bank robbers. This is a good time, you know. If you are Mr. Dellinger, this is a good time. So I'm saying, by 1914, the last of these pigeons died, they're extinct right now, such a species does not exist. I'm saying in a matter of three centuries, we just wipe out 5 billion population of one species. All the other smaller ones, what we have done, we don't even know. Once in 17 years, the cicada comes out. The last time it came out, I landed in I landed in Nashville and I'm driving. Then I see on this highway, they just plastered to the road. Millions and millions, miles. I thought, what are we doing? 17 years ago, they had come out. Now they've come out after 17 years. They didn't understand how many new cars you bought. In 17 years' time, the volume of traffic that's gone up, they didn't realize, and they came on the road and they got plastered in millions. After all, they're coming out once in 17 years for a few days. We could avoid the traffic in the daytime on that specific highway. Hello? 3 days. Hello? Is it okay? I'm saying we need to become little more sensitive to life. Then these kind of pandemics and stuff, we will know how to deal with, because all it takes is a little conscious response, that's all. It's only the problem started by human beings, hard to deal with because they will get you no matter what, you know. For this, you have to do more crude things than they are doing. If they kill one, you have to kill 10. This is how the world is being handled right now. But becoming life sensitive is the most important thing that needs to happen in individual life and the life of the generation, that we are life sensitive. Not sensitive to our thoughts, our emotions, our philosophies, our ideologies, our egos. No, we have to become life sensitive because the highest value here is life. Do you agree with me? Hello? All the masked men and women, do you agree the highest… because I don't know with what intention you come, when people came masked, they always pulled out a gun. That at least has changed, see. Masked people are no more carrying a gun. Great thing, huh? You've done one great thing in the world. You are masked, but you're not carrying a gun, not planning to kill, not planning to rob. This is an improvement. Bringing a certain amount of sensitivity to life is very important, not to our ideas, not to our comforts, not to our egos, not to our belief systems, but to life, because that is the only value. Everything else is secondary. Only because you're alive, everything else matters. If you forget that, we will lose this.